So, John, if you could be murdered in some way, but you've got to live with that way you've been murdered for the rest of eternity, what would you choose? What would you have done to you?
Nothing too physical, I don't think. I mean, that's where these ladies went wrong. So, I don't know, maybe something with few physical signs? Maybe. What if I'd took a huge overdose of amazing drugs? Would I still be high when I came to? Would I just be constantly loopy? That'd be quite fun.
Yeah, I have to assume that you wouldn't die. You'd just be higher than anybody ever could be.
I could live with that.
Do you think? You've been high before. Was it a good time?
No, I wouldn't want to be like that all the time.
Yeah.
No, that was... No, you make a good point. No, I don't know, drown me then, I don't know.
Drown you?
Well, there's no physical signs, particularly. Oh, well, you'd have to get me out before I bloated, though.
Before you bloated?
Bloated. You know, because when people drown in water, they bloat because the skin gets all wet. I don't want to be walking around like some soggy, bloated zombie forever. That'd be horrible.
All right, I'll do my best.
Some films are fine just the way they are. Other films sometimes take it way too far. But really, how bad could it get? Let's go beyond the box set.
Welcome everybody to Beyond the Box Set, podcast where we pitch prequels, sequels and spin-offs to films that don't have any. I'm Harry, joining me as always is John.
Hello.
And this week we're doing Death Becomes Her.
Yes, we are.
This was your choice, John.
It absolutely was. I'm guessing you hadn't seen this before?
No, I'd not.
Okay, well, what was your impression?
Well, I didn't know anything about what this film was until going into it.
Good.
Before going into it. I think I had been told that Meryl was in it. And so, yeah, the first half of it was kind of what I expected. I didn't really know where it was going fully. From the title, I was expecting some kind of horror, and I was like, well, I thought we had quite a serious film streak recently, other than one or two, but I know we had quite a few in a row that were quite dark.
Yeah.
But then, no, the film does take a turn halfway through. Well, it's a slow turn, I thought, because there wasn't just suddenly one moment where it becomes ridiculous. I guess the first moment was when you meet Isabella Rossellini's character.
Sure, yes.
For the first time. I was like, this doesn't feel like the same movie. This doesn't feel... This is weird. I'm sure we're going to talk about this on the podcast. And then I think the moment after that really sort of stuck it out for me was when Meryl falls down the stairs.
Yes.
And the stairs are just a bit longer than they actually...
Yeah, she falls down those stairs for a while, doesn't she?
Yeah. That's the point where I was like, all right, was that a deliberate thing in the film? It feels deliberate, but it still doesn't feel like it matches this film. And then from then onwards, I think from the point where Bruce Willis is then on the phone and you see her very clearly in the background, I was like, all right, here we go. And yeah, from there it's great.
That happens like an hour into the film, so it took you that long to realise it was a comedy.
I mean, without knowing what this film's about, how can you predict any of that?
No, sure, but I mean, you said you thought it was going to take a serious turn, and I think I'm glad you went into this not knowing what was going on.
Well, I wasn't sure if it was a good film or not.
Sure, okay. And what's your conclusion?
Inconclusive.
Fair enough. I mean, I absolutely adore this film. It is,
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen this many times before. What I normally do, it's been a while since I've watched it. What I usually do for films we watch in this show, if I've got time, is I watch the film once just to watch it. And then if I've got time, I watch it a second time and take notes and kind of think about things I want to talk about on the show, like look up for particular funny moments, drinking games, etc. If I've got time, I don't always. This time, I mean, we've had a little longer because you've been on holiday, but I have watched this film from start to finish 5 times in the past week.
5 times?
5 times. And I've seen it before. That wasn't my first time ever.
Oh my God.
I just find this film endlessly rewatchable and this film is like homosexual catnip. Like it's so camp and so silly and so funny. I mean, to compare it to like Sausage Party last week, that was like a film that had one joke, or maybe 2, if you kind. And it was very kind of loose and kind of...
One of the jokes being swear words.
Yeah, exactly. The jokes are swear words, sex, and talking vegetables, you know. Whereas this film, what I love about this film is that every single scene has a good joke. It's so tight. Like, there's so many little jokes that could easily just pass you by. But every single scene has something funny going on that is just tightly scripted. There'll either be a funny line... I mean, there's so many quotes in this film. I've written down like 20 lines that make me laugh out loud. I won't go through them all. But it's just so well done. Like, there's nothing to it. Like, it is a very silly film. The characters are incredibly two-dimensional, but it doesn't matter because it's just so much fun. So, yeah, I was really excited. I can't believe it's taken me like 80 episodes for us to get to this. I should have done this a long time ago. But I felt like the time was right.
It does seem weird that you waited this long to get to this
Yeah.
point.
I don't know why. I'd forgotten just how much I enjoy it. So, yeah.
We have to bury her in Death Valley and be done with her once and for all.
Ellen, please, you have to listen to me.
Stop waffling, Ernest. She deserves it. She was a homewrecker. She was a man-eater. And she was a bad actress.
Would you please listen?
Stop!
You just listen to me. Madeline is not ready to be buried yet. She's upstairs, resting peacefully.
Oh, fine. Oh, if she's not dead, you tell her to come down here. You tell her to come down here, walk right up to me, and kiss me on the...
Kiss you on the what?
Mad? Hell.
So Meryl Streep in this film plays an actress, seemingly a very successful actress at some point.
Despite a lot of people calling her awful at the start.
Yeah, well, I don't think she's supposed to be a good actress, and it's really fun watching Meryl Streep play a bad actress, which I know quite a few scenes in this she's doing. But at some point, she's obviously been very successful, presumably because she's very rich. But we start the film and she's in this god awful musical, and it opens with this musical number.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Well, at the start, because it does open that, doesn't it? And so I was
Yeah.
thinking,
Oh, did you think it might be a full musical?
I thought, oh God, John's picked another musical, hasn't he? Oh dear, here we go.
I would have watched 2 hours of this. That musical. I mean, everyone in the crowd's walking out. I was like, yes, it looks like a train wreck. But I would be eating it with a spoon. Like, I would be loving every second of that musical.
It's not the worst musical intro I've ever seen. But it wasn't great. I thought there was just too much going on.
That was the point, though.
I know.
Drag queens have built their entire careers around this film, by the way. Yeah, it's so campy and silly. Like, the way she's styled on the stage in the scene, I don't mean this as an insult. She looks like Miss Piggy. Like, not in terms of like she's fat, but in terms of like with the feather boa and like the mermaid dress and the big blonde hair. It's very like, it's so over the top and tacky. It is like it's Muppet like. It's Miss Piggy, and she's doing this hilarious song, and it's I was just watching it then while you were at your idea and laughing all over again, just like the 6th time this week. The bit where it goes all disco and all like, the gay men come out, like, the big gay men's chorus. It's like ooh ooh, doo, 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 ooh, ooh. And all the gay men in the back have got the exact same identical mullets. It's just brilliant. So yeah, but this musical we're supposed to understand is dreadful, and everyone's literally just walking out while she's doing it, except for we pan over and it's Bruce and Goldie, who are a couple, Helen and Ernest. And yeah, we get the first shot of what is this movie's truly spectacular wig work, like, on both of them. Like,
Because Bruce Willis did actually have hair at this point. Like, not all of it, but like he still had a head of hair.
I'm trying to place it in the chronology of like Die Hard, and
I think it might be between Die Hard 1 and 2.
did he have hair in Die Hard 1?
Yeah, in 1 he did. I mean, receding, but it was there.
Sure, yeah. But I mean, that was a full wig he's wearing.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Just the glasses and the moustache as well. It was like he was in disguise.
Yeah. And I always like it when films try to make ridiculously beautiful people look unattractive, and what they do to poor Goldie. Like,
It's great.
it's so good. That is a rough wig. Like,
Because like the film, in the first half hour or something, like there's a lot of time jumps.
yeah.
A lot.
It really does, yeah.
And so like it jumps like 7 years, and you see her, she's in this mental institute, and she'll put on loads of weight. No, sorry, she's at home.
Oh yeah, let's
first.
not skip to the mental institute yet, because that whole scene in her house deserves
So
some
her
discussion.
house, when she's turned into crazy cat lady, at which point I was wondering, like, I was thinking, that is too many cats. Not just because of the amount of cats and how much it must smell and, food and all that. Like, they're making a racket. I can barely hear the TV that she's watching.
Yeah.
That's my main issue right there.
It's when she opens the cupboard and
And
there's
there's
just
another
another
cat in there. How did it get in there?
That must have taken some training to have that cat just like sit still long enough for her to like open the thing. It doesn't even
Like, it opens the cupboard, and the cat doesn't even jump out at
No,
that
it's not
point.
even
It just sort of lies down, just like, oh, hi. Also, what is she eating?
like ice cream or
Was it
frost-
because she gets it out of a cupboard?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them.
melted ice cream, like frosting or something. It's some kind of like sugar based. I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, Robert Zemeckis films are all about the special effects, and like that fat suit, that fat suit was off the chain.
Like, I was wondering, is she going to be in this for the whole film? Like, that's going to get tiring to watch.
Yeah,
If she's in that fat suit for the whole film. But no, thank God.
yeah.
I mean, if she was, would she have stomached that shotgun shell?
Oh well, exactly. That would have been very different. Yeah, like, That scene would have played out very differently if she'd kept the waist on, but yeah.
What about you, Helen? We haven't heard from you in a while. Is there anything you'd like to talk about with the group?
Yes. I would like to talk about Madeline Ashton.
Meryl steals Bruce, well, they run away together. Cut to 7 years later, and Goldie has had a complete meltdown. It's become a quintessential crazy cat lady, wearing this big fat suit, and obsessively rewatching a really hilarious looking film called Dark Windows, in which Meryl gets murdered.
Yeah.
Did you notice Michael Caine was in that film?
Michael Caine.
Yeah. I don't know how they got. I think they must have used like stock footage or something. But it's so funny. And again, Meryl playing a bad actress, like her getting like really dramatically strangled. And, Goldie gets hauled off to a mental asylum because she's had a complete breakdown. And then there's that really funny scene. I'm just going to be reciting funny scenes, but where the therapist's like, "So Helen, have you got anything you want to talk about today?" And she goes, "Yes, I'd like to talk about Madeline Ashton." And all the other patients just start freaking out, like, "No, not again!" Like every day she does this.
Yeah, that was good.
She plans to seed in Helen's mind that if she's ever going to get over this obsession, she needs to eliminate Madeline, i.e. Helen. And so she takes this very literally. And then we cut to another 7 years later, I think. Do we? Is that another?
I think so.
So yeah, now it's been like maybe 20 years, I'm not sure. And
a fair while, then everyone's still looking vaguely the same age, apart from Meryl, who is intentionally looking a little bit like she's getting older.
Well, no, they've done it with Bruce as well. I mean, you don't see as much of him, but the whole point is that they're in this miserable, loveless marriage.
Yeah.
And she's trying to cling to her youth, but she's getting older and she's starting to look older. She's not working much anymore. In fact, apart from the musical at the beginning, she never works in this film. She's never actually a working actress after that first
that
scene.
and the strangling film. That's
happened.
That's all we see.
Yeah, exactly. But that means she just seems like her career's over, and it doesn't seem like she's that focused on that. And they get an invitation to visit Helen's book launch thing, and they're obviously not seen her in a few years. And then before she goes to that, she goes to the beauty clinic.
Oh yeah.
Which was like something out of Black Mirror, but funnier.
It was also like something out of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yes.
I felt / Oz.
This is when I first noticed that every supporting character, even though there's like not many that have more than one scene, even the tiniest little characters have their own little jokes and their own little weird stuff going on. Do you remember the girl with the ridiculously over-the-top French accent?
Yes.
I am sorry, but a plasma separation is a very traumatic process to the body. Our policy clearly prohibits more than one in a 6-month period.
So, it's been nearly that long already.
Miss Ashton, you had one 3 weeks ago.
So Meryl wants some kind of plasma rejuvenation thing, which I don't know, is like having all the blood drained out of her body and put back in or something ludicrous. But you had that 3 weeks ago, Miss Ashton! But then when the guy comes in from behind her, well, there's this guy with a weird, funny eye. But as soon as he comes in, she drops the accent. Did you notice?
Yeah,
and nobody acknowledges it. She goes from this ridiculous French accent to like being like just totally American.
Yeah.
Loved it. Loved it. And then, yeah, there's this crazy, like, fey French guy. I think he's legit French, I don't know. With his weird, like, winky eye that he's again, it's probably because he's had so much plastic surgery himself. And she's like, money's no object. And he's look younger and it's nothing's working anymore. Makeup doesn't work anymore. Blah, 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 blah. And he says, well, if money's no object, you should visit Liesel von Rumer or whatever Isabella Rosellini's character's called. He gives her a card and she kind of rips it up. And then she goes to
her young lover, I guess.
Oh, no, does that happen after? Doesn't she meet Goldie first and then meet a young lover? No, she meets Goldie. She goes to the party first, and then we see new Goldie. And now Goldie's like totally transformed.
Yes, yeah.
And she's just like really slim, and she's really beautiful, and she's wearing this like amazing red dress, and
Bruce Willis falls for her at that point.
Right? Yeah, of course, yeah.
So then,
well, he's already been in love with her before.
Oh yeah, but he's like, oh no, there's nothing between us anymore, and then he gets very close to her quite quickly. Yeah. Meryl sees. Runs off to her young piece of meat on the side, who really is
just a piece of meat.
Yeah, who is obviously very, very clearly just banging somebody else that night. I mean, he turns up at the door, putting his trousers on.
Yeah. Well, she does get a great line. For Christ's sake, at least lie quickly.
Yeah, that was a good line.
And I like it. So when he dumps her, and then it just immediately starts raining.
Yeah.
Like, this movie gets it. It's like it's winking at you the whole time. It's like it totally embraces its own silliness. So you're not like, oh, this is stupid. You're like, this is so stupid. Like, there's a difference. There's definitely a difference. Oh yeah, so she has a really bad night. It's like her best frenemy, I guess, like has reinvented herself, and her boy toys dumped her. And so she's driving down. She's crying in the rain, and she looks herself in the mirror and she screams because she looks awful. And then she spills all her handbag stuff, and then she finds the card with the address, and she goes to this address. And then we get to Isabella Rosellini.
Yeah.
Who, I didn't mean for us to have like 2 Isabella Rosellini films in such close...
No, but no, well.
But yeah, so what did you think of Isabella?
Let's get to her servants first.
Her servants, yeah.
They were lacking a piece of clothing.
The 80s mulleted wrestlers.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're going to have people who look fantastic, you may as well let them show off.
Yeah. I like that they were called Tom, Dick and Harry.
Yeah, that was good.
But yeah, a lot of side boob in this scene. A lot of side boob. I mean, mostly from her, but also from them. Like, male and female side boob is just... This whole scene is just pecs and tits.
Yep.
Because, Isabella, for me, she's just in...
Don't actually know what happened in the scene.
No. She was just in full, like, panto villain mode for this film, I feel like. She was just, like, camping it up to the max. Yeah, she's wearing this kind of, like... What's that called when you make your own jewellery? Like, is it, like, macrame or... Bad, maybe? But she's just wearing jewels, like her bra is jewels. It looked like it would really chafe the nipples. Like,
yes,
it looked very uncomfortable. Oh, there's the dogs as well that get the lift.
Yeah. I'm quite disappointed, actually, that nobody said, release the hounds! Because they looked like Monty Burns' hounds.
They did, yeah. I think this was like the hell hounds, like the hounds of hell, but yeah. And Meryl in this scene is, again, just the outfits in this film are so good. Like, she's wearing this kind of weird, like, juicy couture kind of jumpsuit kind of thing. She's got the headscarf on, and she looks terrible but really funny.
Yeah.
And so Isabella Rosellini tells her that she can grant her eternal youth, basically. She can stop the aging process. And Meryl's like, yeah, whatever. Another one of my favourite moments, Isabella says, how old do you think I am? And then Meryl goes like, 38. 28, 23.
Yeah.
So good.
How old would you guess I am?
I wouldn't.
Come on, don't try to flatter me.
38. Oh, 28. 3? 23.
I am 71 years old. That's what it does. It stops the aging process dead in its tracks and forces it into retreat. Drink that potion, and you'll never grow even one day older.
One of the best special effects in the film, I think, when she stabs her in the finger.
Also, like Meryl's shriek at this
Meryl's reaction,
yeah.
That shriek is amazing. What are you, nuts? And she puts the little potion in her fingers, and then you see the close-up of the 2 hands, and one of the hands it's a really like liver spotted like old lady hand, and the other hand just like slowly like becomes a young beautiful hand again, and and then Meryl's like, how much?
So at that point, Isabella Rossellini had already given a price, and Meryl was like, no, you can get lost.
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, well, give me a hand. And then she did that to her hand, and then Meryl's like, okay, yeah, anything. But at that point, I'm thinking, well, partly because you want to look young again, but also you want your hands to match.
I thought that about Bruce at the end. Like, he's going to have non-matching hands.
Yeah, and like that. What are we supposed to do with that?
Yeah, just one really great-looking hand.
Yeah. At least do the other one.
Yeah, sure. Just even them out, yeah. One of my favourite little details about Meryl's character in this film is the way she was... Nothing bothered her that much. Like, she just seems so self-absorbed. She's literally in this magical situation, and she's just kind of like, fine, how much? Like, she's so underwhelmed by it all. Like, she's just kind of like, all right, bottoms up. So then she pays whatever the price is that we never find out. And she drinks the potion. And then Isabella's like, and now a warning. And then another one of my favourite Meryl is, now a warning?
Yeah.
And it's like, take care of your body, because you'll be together for a long time. But while this is happening, we're also seeing Goldie has, even though she's now become like young and beautiful, she's basically still obsessed with just revenge on Meryl. That's all she wants. And because she's looking at herself in the mirror, isn't she? And it's covered in like Madeline Ashton memorabilia with all the eyes scratched out and like never again written in blood red, and it's brilliant. And then she goes to Bruce, she seduces Bruce, and then she basically tells him that the only way that they can be happy together is if they kill Meryl. One of the things I really enjoy about this film is that it's really well paced. I think another version of this film would have had like half an hour between Meryl getting the eternal youth and Meryl dying. You would have had her like enjoying being young and beautiful and everyone being like, oh my god, you look great. This film is like, no time for that. That's not fun. We're going to get straight to the murder. Because she literally just comes home and gets murdered.
Yeah.
But it's done really well because it's like Goldie's really riled Bruce up. She's like, you know, she's killing you. She's a succubus. She's sucking you away. She's ruined your life and everything. And then she comes home feeling all fabulous because now she looks beautiful and stuff. And she just says all the wrong things. She picks a fight with him. The fight is amazing. Flaccid. But yeah, they have this big fight at the top of the stairs, and she's just being horrible to him. And he just loses it. He starts strangling her, and then she almost falls down the stairs.
For a long time.
She's like, yeah, there's a theme in this film of people like having amazing centers of gravity because she's just at the top of the stairs, just like whirling her arms, like, help me, Ernest, help me, help me. Like,
well, I presume that that's how high heels work.
Sure. I mean, never test that theory, but sure.
Yeah.
She's at the top of the stairs, and she's like, come on, help me, you idiot. And then he looks and he kind of like pokes her and basically pushes her down the stairs. And the scene where that first landing when she snaps her neck. Like every time I watch it, which establishes a lot, I gasp because it is really brutal. Was there any part of you at that point that thought, "Oh wow, they've killed Meryl. Like she's not coming back"?
Yeah. At that point, 'cause I thought that's what the film was all about, was about killing Meryl, and I was like, okay, well, that feels a bit soon. Let's see how this plays out, because there's clearly some more to this film.
Yeah,
and yes, there was.
It does. It certainly does. You pushed me down the stairs.
Yes.
That's one of my top 5 lines of this film. The delivery. You pushed me down the stairs.
Madeline, look at yourself.
Huh?
Look at yourself.
Ernest! My ass! I can see my ass!
There's something really wrong with your neck, too.
I would say so. I would frigging well say so.
What did you think of like the effect of the backwards neck? And
it's really good.
It holds up pretty well. Like,
won an Oscar.
Yeah, it deserved. I think this film won best costume and makeup, or was it, or special effects?
It was special effects.
Special effects, yeah, deservedly so. I think the special effects for the early 90s are so good because her head is literally on backwards.
Yeah,
and it's the way she's walking around. Like, you're in trouble now, Buster. Like,
jumping ahead a bit, I did really enjoy Meryl just in conversations. Her head would just keep drooping.
That was
it was really good, because that's just Meryl doing it. There's no special effects on that.
No, that's just stop it. I'm trying. He takes her to a doctor because he doesn't realize. Neither of them realize that she's dead. I mean, she should be dead, but they twist her neck back around, but then all the bones are poking out, and it's gross. And they take her to the hospital. And it's Sidney Pollack playing the doctor. First he pulls her wrist all the way back, and he's like, doesn't this hurt? And she's like, no, not really. And then he looks at her neck and he's like, whoa, Jesus Christ. And then he takes her pulse, and there's no pulse, her heart's not beating, her temperature's like below a human should be. She's dead. And I realize she is in fact dead, but obviously she's conscious. I like how they get rid of the doctor really easily. It's like, oh, well, the doctor knows now. That's how are we going to write our way out of this situation? How's he not going to tell everyone, oh, he doesn't have a heart attack, he's going to die. And then Bruce kind of goes running around trying to get a second opinion, and we get lots of really weird, creepy hospital stuff that I enjoyed. Like, remember the floating nuns for no reason?
Yeah, what was that?
Just a random scene of like, it's like from The Shining or something. Like there's just these nuns just like floating down the corridor.
I assume it was just his imagination, wasn't it?
Maybe, yeah. And there's the tennis player who seems to have had a very serious injury.
Oh yeah,
with like both his elbows and his knees are just pouring with blood.
Yeah,
I don't know what that was in reference to, but I enjoyed it.
No idea.
Just random silly humour. While this has happened, Meryl has passed out from the shock of realising she's dead. And then, so when Bruce goes back, she's been taken to the morgue because they've just found a corpse, basically. The morgue, she'll be furious.
That was good.
That might be the best Bruce line, actually.
Yeah.
They think I'm dead.
Yes, they think you're dead, but you're not dead. In the whole of recorded medical history, this has never happened to another single human being.
Yes, so why did it have to happen to me?
Do you know what you are, darling? You're a sign. You're an omen. You're a burning bush.
I am?
Of course you are. We're being told that we belong together. And I'm being called. I'm being challenged. Don't you see, Madeline? It's a miracle!
Then he takes her home again. But while this is happening, Goldie is spying on them. And Goldie's spying beret?
Yeah, I was thinking about this.
Yeah.
So she's wearing all black, including a beret. And why, when she's got the blondest hair in the world?
Because it's a good, fabulous look. Like, she's dressed for the occasion. She's dressed for the job she wants.
She's dressed, yeah. But she should have put her hair away.
Maybe,
And she should have probably darkened her face as well.
What, like blackface?
Well, not like blackface, but just like a camouflage or something.
Okay, sure. Well, does anyone see her? No.
Fair.
Yeah,
Well, then what's that? She might be wearing a wedding dress then. That would still have worked.
Sure, yeah. But I loved all those scenes. Again, it's the physicality. I can't get this across on an audio format, but Goldie Hawn's physical comedy is the best. There's just a bit when she watches Ernest drive away and she sees him with Meryl's corpse, then she sees him getting a bunch of formaldehyde. She's like, what the hell is he doing? And there's a bit where he drives away and the gate closes and she kind of does this. I'm going to show you what she does. She goes like...
Okay, so John's looking side to side. He's running very quickly around his apartment. There's not much space in here, John.
No, I couldn't really do it justice in this tiny little flat, but do you know what I mean? Like that real kind of like it was a real cartoon run.
Yeah.
It was really funny. I just loved it.
If at any point she'd accidentally fallen off a cliff, she would pause for a little bit at the top,
Exactly.
look left to right, and then fall.
Exactly. It was totally that. This whole film felt like Looney Tunes. 100%, yeah. Because he's an undertaker. Bruce has taken Meryl home and he's decided to paint her up because, she's dead. She's a corpse. She's grey and she's, her neck is broken. So he basically does a whole refurb on her, I guess, a makeover to make her look alive and beautiful again. He's painting her. But then while he's doing that, he's interrupted by Goldie, who comes in and she demands to see the corpse because she's seen Meryl's dead body, so she assumes Meryl is in fact dead. And then she's like, come on, we need to bury her in the creek, whatever. And she's like, are you doing something funny with Madeline's body? What does she think he's doing? But with good reason, because it does seem like he's doing something funny. And then he's like, but Madeline's not ready to be buried yet. And then we get my absolute favourite of all the lines in this film. I think my absolute favourite line is when we get Meryl watching from above. We see like Meryl's hand, and we get Goldie and Bruce having this conversation. She's like, she deserved to die. And it's all in Goldie's delivery of this line. It's like, she was a homewrecker, she was a man-eater, and she was a bad actress. And then you just see Meryl's claw, like...
Yeah.
And I was like, is this what happens when people call Meryl Streep a bad actress?
Yeah.
Mad? Hell.
Darling.
What have you two been plotting down here, or should I say, what else?
Are you angry, dear? Are you very angry?
It's a lie.
And then Meryl just kind of glides into the back room, picks up a giant shotgun. I just want you to know, you brought this on yourself. Shoots her in the stomach. She's comedically flung into the swimming pool. By the way, that mansion, amazing.
Good for it.
Yeah.
I'd take that.
And then as far as we know, Goldie Hawn is dead. Did you get at this point that Goldie was also going to raise from the dead, or was that a surprise as well?
It wasn't a surprise, but I didn't predict it,
Sure.
I guess. Like, the scenes kind of pointed towards it was going to happen.
Sure. Yeah, so then she raises from the dead, and she's got this giant hole in her stomach.
So at which point I was thinking, how is she supporting her upper body?
Oh, yeah.
She has no spine. She's just supporting it on her kidneys?
Well, it's a very clean wound because there's no like internal organs, there's no entrails hanging out.
No.
It's just like she's filled with clay, which happens again later in the film. It's like when they took the potion, their whole body just became like clay. Maybe that's what happens. I don't know. But yeah, because you're absolutely right. She's got very little support system left because she's got a very thin waist anyway, and she's got this giant hole in her stomach. My other favourite line, apart from she was a bad actress, is that was totally uncalled for. And then they just have a whole bitch fight, and it is the highlight of the film. It is so funny.
I like I've already said, Bruce's reaction to this whole scene, but I also like they're having this massive fight, like to the death and beyond, technically.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But it's just over Bruce Willis, who at this point is looking awful.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, of all things you're fighting over, it's him. I mean, I know that it's actually just the rivalry of their whole lives.
Yeah.
But really, it's just Bruce Willis. Like, there's better men.
I don't think they're fighting over him at that point. It's like more of an ongoing, because they don't care about him. When they make up,
Yeah,
they only like him because...
But like the prize at the end of it is Bruce Willis.
Sure. But I think it's more that they resent the fact that they both... Well, they get into it. It's like...
Of course they resent each other and they hate each other, and that's what they're fighting
over.
Yeah,
because Meryl's stolen previous boyfriend from Goldie. But then it turns out she also feels insecure because Goldie's classier, and she feels like Goldie thinks she's cheap. So yeah, it's all... Bruce is very much like a sideshow to this. It's not really him. He's just the most recent example of something they've fallen out over.
Yeah.
And yeah, they kind of make up, though. It just goes to show that, if you're having a bad patch with a friend, I think all you need to do is just whack her in the head with a shovel a few times and it'll just sort itself out.
Oh, damn! This is pointless. Wait a minute. This is ridiculous. We can't even hurt each other. We can't even inflict pain. Pain? I'll tell you about pain. Bobby O'Brien, Scott Hunter, Ernest Menville. That's pain. I loved every one of them and they loved me. I will not speak to you till you put your head on straight.
Yeah, they kind of come to terms with each other. I feel like they both accept the fact that they're dead really quickly.
They do, yeah.
They don't seem particularly upset about that.
No.
It's like it's an inconvenience.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, look at me, I'm dead.
Yeah.
So embarrassing. In fact, they even say, don't they? We're dead. This is so embarrassing.
Like, Meryl has more of a reaction when she sees herself when her hair is wet.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Wet hair is worse than death. A fate worse than death. Bad hair is a fate worse than death in this film. But they make up. But then they realise that they need
Bruce to keep their bodies.
Yeah, because they're dead, they're peeling, they're zombies, essentially. They are zombies. So he fixes the hole in Goldie's stomach. He fixes Meryl up, they both, her neck and everything. But then it's like, but they're still peeling, they're still like corpses. So it's like, we're going to need him around all the time. And then what if he dies? We need him around forever. So he's going to have to take the potion. He's going to have to live forever so he can be constantly fixing us up. But then he's decided to leave. He's like, it was till death do us part and ladies, you two are dead. So I'm out.
Wait a minute. You just got a little thing. Ooh! Probably shouldn't have done that. I think it's still wet.
Ooh, can Ernest fix this?
Yeah, I'll go get him before he leaves.
But wait a minute. What if this happens again? What if it fades? What if it chips? What if it rains? Will he come back for touch-ups?
Even if he does, he's not going to live forever.
Oh, that's not good.
What are we going to do?
He'll have to take the potion. Yeah. We'll take him to Liesl's. She'll talk him into it.
He's not going to go to Liesl's. You heard him. He's made up his mind about leaving.
That's true. I have to respect that. I know. We'll drug him.
So they attempt to drug him with the same method that they were going to use to drug Meryl with the glass of booze. But he's like, you know what, I drink too much. And he doesn't drink it, so they just bash him over the head with vases. And take him back to Isabella Rosellini's mansion, where she's throwing a party for all of her clients.
Yeah.
Which is basically every celebrity ever.
Yes. I did enjoy that.
Yeah, it was a good spot the celebrity for you.
Yeah.
They've got like Marilyn Monroe and Elvis Presley and James Dean and Jim Morrison. It's great. Again, Isabella just doing full panto. Well, first she's just doing like casual backstroke in the pool. Again, lots of side boob. Lots of side boob. But yeah, then she's wearing this ridiculous like python-y kind of cape thing. She does the hand thing again, and he gets the whole hand thing again. But then he decides that he doesn't want to live forever. He's like, this isn't a blessing, it's a curse. It's awful. He's like, what am I going to do? Hang out with Helen and Madeline forever? And he kind of goes action Bruce for like 5 seconds when he throws the knife, but it effortlessly hits the light switch and plunges the entire room into darkness.
Which is weird, because in the film, that's the first time he's hit a target.
Oh, totally, yeah.
We see that earlier he's been throwing knives at a dartboard for years.
Yes.
And then he packs that dartboard away. That dartboard is immaculate. Like he's never once hit that dartboard.
True, yeah. Maybe it's because the hand. Maybe he's using his good hand now.
Ah, yes, exactly.
Didn't occur to me, but that might be it.
Well done, because I did clock on at the dartboard point. His hands were shaking so much. And,
oh my God, that is it, yeah.
And that's kind of like, so he's not a surgeon anymore.
Yeah.
And so now he's gone into embalming. So I guess that makes sense.
That's good.
Use his good hand to hit the light switch.
Yeah, and then he tries to escape from the party. Meryl and Goldie spot him and like, he still looks like hell. She's not giving him the good stuff. And they realise he's still alive.
Which then makes me think, wait, is there bad stuff? Like, does this potion have, like, quality levels?
I don't know.
1959, that was a good year.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, obviously not, because he's not taking anything, but apart from his hand. But yeah, so he's trying to escape, and he ends up on the roof of the building. He ends up dangling for reasons. Like, he ends up, like, dangling from a drain pipe by his braces. Which must really hurt. Regardless.
Yes.
And they're like, drink the potion, it's the only way you'll survive, because he's about to fall like many, many feet to his death. And so they're trying to convince him to drink the potion so that he can stay alive and survive the fall. But he decides not to, and he He's like, sorry ladies, you're on your own. And he drops the potion. Falls to what would have been his death if this film made sense, but
Yes.
he survives because it's funnier, I guess.
Yeah. Falls through a glass window, lands on a swimming pool that we saw earlier.
Yes.
And both the girls just roll their eyes.
Yes. It's like this happens all the time in this world. And then he runs away. Meryl and Goldie are basically cast out of the immortal people group because they've not looked after their bodies, I guess. And they just realise they've just got to look after each other from now on because Bruce ain't coming back. And then we get a final scene where we cut forward another 38 years. This film covers like a century.
God, yeah, it does.
It really covers a lot of time.
Yeah.
And Bruce has finally died at the age of like 87 or something. And we get this whole eulogy about how he had all these kids and he lived his life to the max from the age of 50, all this kind of stuff. And they're both sat at the back.
This is when the movie turns into Absolutely Fabulous.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Yeah.
They're so Patsy and Adina at this point. So then they're in these veils, and then they leave the funeral and they pull their veils up because Goldie starts crying and then she accidentally tears like her lower eyelid off or something. And they just both look hilariously bad, like just awful. Goldie trips over on the can of spray paint that they're arguing over, and then Meryl refuses to kind of pull her back up, and then so Goldie grabs her and they both fall, and they just fall again. A very long scene of them falling down a very short stack of stairs, and then they just smash into pieces like China dolls. And then it ends on, I love a film that ends on a great final line. And what a great final line. When Goldie's head just rolls into shot and just kind of goes, as if this has happened 1,000 times before. Yeah. Do you remember where we parked the car? And that's it. And that's the end of Death Becomes Her.
So what happens to them after that point? Because, like, well, they can't move.
Well, her hand is moving. I don't know. Yeah, I mean.
Oh yes, maybe you can move their limbs independently.
It seems like they
of their
probably.
body.
I mean, if anyone, they're gonna have to work quickly because if people are gonna walk out, they're gonna see this. Like,
Yeah, and they'll be like, "What?"
Yeah.
Be awful.
Yeah, I guess that's the question. Yeah, but it's just such a treat. It's such a treat.
Oh, this film was crazy.
Any other thoughts on the film before we get to drinking games?
Yeah, I was thinking that we could bring back a game that we've played every now and then. Maybe it's a regular thing. I don't know.
Sure.
But the Friends game.
The Friends game. Okay, sure. Oh yeah. Okay.
So casting the Friends in this film. Now, there's not many characters, but there's a fair few side characters that we could build up.
Sure. Okay.
So let's start off with Meryl.
Okay.
Who do you think would play Meryl of the 6 friends?
Jennifer Aniston.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
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 It's got to be Rachel.
No.
Then I would say Goldie is Phoebe.
Oh, I thought Goldie was Monica because she's more like uptight.
Oh no, sorry, yes, Monica, because her weight fluctuates.
Exactly, her weight fluctuates. Well, I was more thinking that she'd be like, I'm soaking wet, you know.
Bruce Willis, Joey.
Chandler.
See, no, I don't think so because I think that.
Well, he's not that stupid, the Bruce character.
No, but is anybody?
Well, I guess he's the only one who could conceivably sleep with both of them. Because Ross is.
Yeah, there's family there.
Yeah. And Chandler has never expressed any interest in Rachel.
Yeah. So that's kind of why I'm thinking Joey, but also I can much more easily see Matt LeBlanc doing what Bruce Willis did in this film.
Sure.
Compared to Matthew Perry.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
Matthew Perry's not good at playing somebody losing his mind, whereas I think that Matt LeBlanc would do quite well at that. Isabella Rosellini.
We've only got Phoebe left, so surely.
Well, I think a bit of an out there choice. Ross?
Okay, explain. Justify.
Well, can you imagine him in that role? David Schwimmer in that role?
By that role, do you mean in that outfit?
Yeah, in a few outfits like that. Would that not fit?
Oh, no, it would be hilarious, yeah.
Exactly. I think that would work really well.
Yeah, that works. I can see that.
I do then also think, because that ties in nicely to the fact that she is Ross's number one celebrity.
That is true, yeah. That's good.
Okay, the Doctor.
Yes.
So we've got 6 Friends characters to cast.
Okay, sure, yeah.
So we've cast 2 of the girls and Ross and Joey. Sure. So we got Chandler and Monica left.
Chandler and Phoebe left.
Chandler and Phoebe, yeah.
I feel like Chandler could be the Doctor, but then who are you saving Phoebe for?
The French guy.
The French guy. Oh, okay. Yes, because she does do a good French accent. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think we've got it.
Yep, that'll do.
That works, yeah. I could see that, yeah.
Some out there choices. Okay, drinking games.
Drinking games.
Okay, my first one is Drink for Thunder and Lightning.
Good, yeah. Solid.
A lot.
Well, my first one is similar. It is Drink for Frankenstein references. There's a lot of Frankenstein references in this film. Did you pick up a lot of them?
Some, maybe.
So obviously there's lots of thunder and lightning. Well, there's a scene where Bruce Willis literally goes, "It's a miracle!" and then there's lightning strikes. There's a bit where Goldie Hawn says, "It's alive."
Yeah.
Just another great line.
Yeah.
And obviously the whole thing has a Frankenstein vibe because,
Zombies
raised from the
whatever,
dead.
yeah.
So yeah, just drink for Frankenstein references.
Drink for injuries.
Injuries, sure, yeah. Some good ones. I mean, Goldie falls down the stairs. I guess when they all shatter to a thousand
Don't
pieces.
they all fall down the stairs at different points?
Yeah, I don't think Bruce does. He almost does, but they pull it
He
back.
almost does, yeah.
But if you count him getting smashed over the head with a vase, then yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's lots of injuries. That'd be a good one, yeah. Very good. Drink for the words mad, hell.
Sure. Drink for wigs.
Drink for wigs, yeah. Did you have a favourite wig?
Yeah, Bruce.
Bruce, yeah. I mean, there were a lot of Bruce wigs. There was young Bruce, and there was like even younger Bruce. Like,
And then there was old Bruce in one photo.
old Bruce in that one photo, yeah. Yeah, he wore a lot of hats in this film.
Yeah.
I don't know, I liked Goldie's really heavy wig. It just made me laugh. Just 'cause it was so unflattering.
Yeah.
Especially Fat Goldie's wig, actually. It was really funny. Speaking of Goldie, drink for a Goldie Hawn costume change.
Okay.
I think she got the best costumes in this film. She just had a look for every scene. It's like she's got the amazing red dress, obviously, when she first is revealed as like young, skinny Goldie. There's her spying beret and night glasses outfit, which is fantastic. She's a real clothes horse in this film. She wore a lot of really good costumes. I appreciated them. So every time Goldie has a costume change.
Sure. Drink for bad/changing accents.
Sure. Who do you mean? Well, obviously French lady.
There's French lady, French man.
Yeah.
His, I felt it was a bit all over the place. It was all French, but it felt inconsistently French.
Well, I think everyone was painting with broad colours in this film.
It's like when someone does a broad English or a broad American accent, you can always tell.
Yeah. No one's Daniel Day-Lewising in this movie. It's not that kind of film.
Yeah, so as if you like that.
Sure, okay. Okay, here's one. Drink for photos or pictures of Meryl.
There are quite a few.
There's lots and lots of different pictures of her. I mean, the first shot is the program for the terrible musical In the Rain, when it's so ridiculously like black and white and blurry. And then in the house as well, the mansion is full of photos of her and Bruce together. Just every time you see one of those. Yeah, drink.
Yeah, sure. Drink for boobs.
Drink for boobs. I had drink for side boob.
Okay.
Is that the same thing? Or
Yeah.
basically just every time Isabella Rosellini.
Yeah,
And
because there's a few points of like Meryl's boobs as well.
Are there? Oh, do you mean when they like lift up?
Yeah.
Okay, sure, yeah.
And so drink for side boob, drink for cleavage.
Sure, okay, yeah. No,
Let's
cleavage,
go with
there's big
that.
cleavage in this film, yeah. Cool, yeah, drink for cleavage.
There's more cleavages than there are people in this film.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying, like, generally drink for special effects.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked how the Meryl transformation scene when she's looking in the mirror, it's like initially, before they do like the bum lift and the boob lift, they just give her like Barbra Streisand lighting. They just,
yeah.
And it's like she's like 20 years younger. It's great. So, but yeah, all the special effects scenes, obviously with the neck and the whole.
It was very much Barbra Streisand lighting, and also Meryl, don't move a muscle or else our special effects budget is blown out the roof.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
On guard, bitch.
Any more drinking games?
No.
Cool. Then should we move on to Patreon?
Yes. So, if you would like to support the show, if you have enjoyed the show for this episode or any or all episodes beforehand, please go to patreon.com/beyondtheboxset, where you can support the show for as much or as little as you like. Now, no matter how much you support, you get a few bonus features, which include a bonus show called Beyond the Box Set, where we review films that we're not really going to do on the main podcast, which is mainly films in the cinema, but also once a month any Patreon supporters can request a film for us to do. So we recently did Avengers Infinity War, and in the past we've also done Paddingtons. So, you can just choose whatever you want. We'll just talk about it there for a bit. Also, every week John will splice in an advert from one of our supporters. This can be a 30-second advert slot on anything you want. It can be, well, within reason actually. It can be your own podcast, it can be somebody else's podcast, your own business, another business. You want to support Argos, for example.
Sure.
Talk 30 seconds about Argos. They're alright. They sell everything. And they have the weirdest shop you can imagine, because they don't have shelves or any products on
Have
show.
you been in Argos today? What's brought this on?
I don't know. I've not been in Argos in years. Yeah, they've got a weird shop though, right?
Well, I kind of like it.
They really are just like, we think all shops should be like this.
Yeah.
And nobody else agrees.
Well, it works. I kind of like it. It's kind of like, it's like you don't.
It's like shopping on Amazon, but you've got to go somewhere to do it.
Yeah, true. But at least you don't have to like wander around all the shelves. Like, you just look in the catalogue and be like, find this for me. Right?
Yeah, it really does feel like a midway between a regular shop and online shopping.
Yeah. I don't know how well Argos do these days, but
Well, it's still around.
they're still around now, but you never know. House of Fraser's gone, so. or going. So
Loads of things are going or gone. Woolworths.
that was like 20 years ago. How are you nostalgic for Woolworths? Surely you were like 5 when they died.
But 5 is the prime age because you can walk in, no one sees you because you're so small. You can go up to the sweet section.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Take as many as you want because it's always right by the door. Well, I was always right by the door.
Okay.
What does that encourages shoplifting?
Are you now confessing to shoplifting a whole load of sweets from
on an online podcast? Yes.
Okay, fine. Sure. Well, I mean, no one's going to sue you.
Has anybody not done that? Write in, please.
Sure. Yeah, fair enough. This is why they shut down. Bad business model.
Exactly. Yes. So anyway, yes, a 30-second advert which John will slice in now.
Yeah, which apparently this week we used for defunct department stores for some reason.
Hey, Drew, what are you doing Wednesdays?
Wednesdays? Specifically on Wednesdays, I watch movies.
Oh, I like to talk about movies. You want to talk about them?
Talk about them? Why don't we record talking
Oh my gosh, like a podcast.
Definitely like a podcast.
And we could have the reels and the feels, but what would we call it?
How about the Real Feels Podcast?
I love it.
We can talk about the best parts of the movies, the worst parts of the movies, our favorite lines.
Every other Wednesday?
On, like, Podbean and iTunes?
I'll see you there.
All right, it will be the realest.
The feelist.
Yeah, so all that is available on patreon.com/beyondtheboxset. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right in one with the show. So, I guess it's me first. So, the film is called Death Becomes Everyone.
Okay, interesting.
So, as many sequels do, this one's going to take the original and it's going to multiply it.
Right.
Alien turned into aliens. Predator turned into predators.
Ramping up.
Terminator turned into more Terminators.
More Terminators, is that the film?
Terminator 6, more Terminators. How many are there? There's more.
Too many Terminators. Sure, okay.
So this one's going to pick up, well, it's going to start pretty much just as the original film finishes.
Okay.
At Ernest's funeral.
Okay.
And we're going to see this from a kind of a different angle, I guess. Where it's not going to centre on Meryl and Goldie's characters. We're going to see them get up and walk out.
Okay. Oh, they do put themselves back together then?
No, as in we see the same scene of them
I see. Okay,
leaving
right.
the church or whatever it is.
Okay, sure.
The door closes, we don't see them. Then a mysterious figure comes out from the shadows in the corner and walks down the aisle and steps up to the front, moving the vicar out of the way, takes his hood down, and it is, in fact, Ernest Menville.
He's alive?
He's alive.
Okay.
But not just he's alive, he's looking fantastic.
Oh, okay.
He's looking so fantastic, in fact, that he's not Bruce Willis anymore, he's Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Fantastic, but with some questionable facial prosthetics.
Yeah.
Okay, like it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, to make Bruce Willis look young.
Yeah, I wanted to, but then I looked up, okay, so this was 1992,
yeah,
and now it's 2018,
yeah.
So that's like a good 26 years later, or whatever it is, and Bruce Willis does no longer look 37.
No. No, he does not.
So yeah, I thought recasting.
Sure.
And who else?
Well, yeah, I mean, it writes itself. So.
Mm-hmm. So this causes quite a stir.
So this is in front of the congregation?
This is in front of all his friends and family.
Okay.
And so he explains about the magic potion he bought from Isabella Rosellini, which allowed him to return with his youth and spend more time with everybody. You know,
so did he take it?
So he knew he was going to die through whatever reason. Maybe it was an illness that was taking him. So he knew he was going to die, and maybe he ran away at the last moment somehow and got this potion because he didn't want to say goodbye to his family.
Oh, I see. So he, rather than take the potion when he was 50, he waited till the moment of his death, because it does restore you back to youth.
Yeah, because I guess that he probably spent the rest of his life thinking, well, I could still just go and get it. Like, I could live forever or not. And then when the time came to him to decision point of like, oh my God, I might die and never see my family again, then he decided I can't do that.
Smart. That's smart.
So he took his time about it and actually made a reasonable decision rather than just being like, oh yeah, I'll buy this right now because he made my hand look nice.
Sure, yeah.
So yeah, he
it's like I could start jogging or I could take this potion. I'll take the fucking potion.
Hate to break this to you, John, but jogging isn't actually life's elixir. You're not going to live forever if you jog.
No, I was talking about Goldie when she was really fat.
I see. So yeah, he explains this to everybody in the church, his friends and family, and he also explains about how important it is that they don't share this with anybody.
Sure.
Because if they do, they'll expose this whole thing that's going on.
So he's just going to tell everyone who's turned up to his funeral, but that's like...
Yes. Now, because this has essentially cost everybody their inheritance...
Oh, okay, right.
Well, you can see where that's going.
They're not happy, yeah.
No. So, 50 years later...
Okay.
Big time jump.
Okay.
Now, I need a lot of exposition here, so I'm just going to give it to a newscaster to read out.
Okay.
So the world population hit another milestone this week, with the latest count being 25 billion people on planet Earth.
Ooh.
Fair few. This is mainly due to a mysterious yet popular drug known as Menville drug, or the Menville drug, which is currently produced by a company known as Big Daddy Corp.
Oh, it's been a while. Big Daddy are back.
They're back. Sold primarily in North America, Europe, and East Asia. The drug is only available for purchase if you're 18 or over. Demand for the world's resources is at record highs, leaving much of the world a barren desert. 99.9% of the world's population now lives in the Northern Hemisphere. Space is at a premium, with the population rising faster than ever.
Oh dear.
So essentially, the world has gone to shit because there are too many people.
Sure.
Because everybody's immortal now.
Right, okay. Shit.
But by immortal, they do still need to eat and stuff. So we then cut to Ernest Menville, who is he's in his mansion.
Mm-hmm.
He's now regained a lot of money because he's the face of this drug.
Okay.
So,
is he like the Walter White of this situation, or?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's say that I've not actually written this in, but he's got the drug and replicated it somehow.
Right.
Sold the formula to Big Daddy. Made a lot of money out of it.
Okay.
Made, 25% of all their sales.
Sure. I mean, Denzel's definitely on this drug.
Do you think?
I feel like Denzel has looked the same.
For context, listeners, this Big Daddy Corp is a little company. It's a big evil company that comes up through a couple of my ideas, headed off by Denzel Washington.
Yes. No, I feel like if you look like Denzel Washington, generally looks the same all the time.
That's a good show, actually.
Yeah. He is like 70.
I know, right?
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Okay, so because he is the face of this drug, which is essentially destroying the world.
Sure.
A lot of people hate him.
Right, okay.
But he's just got used to this.
Sure, yeah.
He doesn't care. He's rich. He's got a mansion. He's fine.
Yeah.
So there are constant protests and riots happening outside of his mansion.
Okay.
He lives with his wife, who he has had many children with.
Okay.
Some of whom were at the funeral. So it was the wife that was also at the funeral, the mourning wife at that point.
Okay.
She must have taken the potion, has become younger.
Okay.
They've had loads of kids over the years, like 20.
Do you think you can still have kids after taking the potion?
I would assume so.
Would the kids be born immortal? Would they never age? Would they just be babies forever?
No, I don't think the kids would be born immortal.
Okay. Because who wants like a 1-day-old forever?
Mm.
That's horrible. It's the
yeah.
worst kind of child. Well, one of.
So his youngest child, I've not got a name for this child. He's a boy of only 2 years old.
Okay.
Who is upstairs asleep.
Okay.
Think of a name for a 2-year-old.
Tarquin.
Tarquin?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Don't know. It just came to me.
Okay. Sure. Tarquin. I'm not going to ask you to cast him because he's 2.
I have a long list.
So the riot outside gets out of hand and people start throwing bricks at the house. Unfortunately, one of the bricks goes through an upstairs bedroom window and actually lands in Tarquin's bed, injuring him quite badly.
Oh no, little Tarquin.
Poor Tarquin. So Ernest, some great names here now.
Yeah.
So Ernest runs to Tarquin's attention and does what he can to help him, being a bit of an expert.
Sure.
But ultimately knows he can't, so he calls an ambulance, and an air ambulance arrives very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
He's rich, great insurance, air ambulance is always on hand.
Sure. So Tarquin's not dead?
Tarquin's not dead.
Okay.
But he is very badly injured.
Sure.
I'm not going to go into details as to what that is. I don't really want to.
No. This sounds like a depressing film. It's an opening.
Oh, it's got to have a downer to get to,
Sure, yeah.
By the way, I forgot to mention, people in the riot and the protest outside, well, they're completely against the drug, so they have not actually taken it.
Right.
So they're all just, awful looking. They've all aged way more than anybody who's taken the drug has.
So they just look like people.
Yeah, but in perspective, they look awful.
Oh, so all the people who've taken the drugs look beautiful, and these are just like the unwashed masses kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah, maybe there could be some fun there. I don't know.
Yeah,
like the hills have eyes, sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, was that the idea? The real zombies are people who don't take this drug.
Ah, yes, of course.
Yeah. Like
Society
it.
zombies.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, it's good.
Anyway, so yeah, they go to hospital. And after a while, the doctors come out and say that there's nothing more they can do. He's on life support and there's only hours left.
Oh, no.
So Ernest, he runs in, stays by his son's side, and he loves his son more than anything, for some reason that I've not really written.
This is so depressing.
More than any of his 20 children.
Sure.
And so decides that rather than let him die, he's going to break the highest rule in society and he's going to give him that drug.
So the rule is no taking the potion before you're 18 or something?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So give him the drug, and watches as his injuries quite quickly heal.
Sure.
He's like, oh yeah, great. Then his son starts to grow. Because in the first film, the drug takes you to this perfect age.
Oh, I see.
Of where your boobs are just right, and your bum's just right.
How old were you when your boobs were just right?
I'll let you know when it happens.
Okay. Working on it.
But like you're not just right when you're 2, are you? You're still growing to that peaking age.
That's often what I think when I look at 2-year-olds. Those boobs just ain't right yet. Give it time.
Well, quite creepy. And so essentially he grows up.
Okay.
Instantly. In the space of a few minutes, he grows up.
Oh,
now,
wow.
this drug only affects the body. It does not affect the mind.
Okay, I'm on board.
Yeah, see, now this is the point I thought you'd get on board.
Okay.
So, need to cast somebody now.
Okay.
Someone who is the perfect specimen, but can also play really stupid.
So somebody good looking who's going to play a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Channing Tatum?
Ooh, good shout. Yeah, solid shout.
I think he could have a lot of fun playing a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking Zac Efron, but I think you've done me better there.
Yeah, no, Zac Efron not so much.
I couldn't really think of anybody.
Yeah, sure.
And you know me, I'm always casting Hemsworth, so I try to stay away from them.
Let's give them a break. They can't be in everything. Right?
Yeah, so there he is. And it is in his mid-20s, acting like a 2-year-old.
I think Channing Tatum's like 37 at this point.
Whatever, he still looks fantastic.
Sure, yeah.
So, then hilarity ensues for another 50 years over the course of a montage. So Ernest is still looking the same, and is sick and tired of caring for his 2-year-old adult son.
Sure.
And the world is in ruins.
Mm-hmm.
Population is now over 100 billion.
Oh dear God.
With another 50 billion on Mars.
Oh wow. Okay.
For whatever reason. Okay. Most land masses are now uninhabitable due to global warming, which is another factor why space is even more of a premium.
Sure.
So much so that geographical space is now the new currency.
Oh, okay.
No one cares about money anymore when all they care about is having space to live, pretty much.
You're creating a whole universe here.
I know.
Like
I've gone for it this week. So somebody is considered quite rich if they were to own like a single kilometre squared.
Okay.
Maybe that's like $1 million or something.
Sure.
Equivalent of, I don't know. Gone are the days where you could buy a Freddo for just a 0.5 millimetres. It's now like a whole half centimetre.
Oh, so people are literally trading space just to buy foodstuffs.
Oh, yeah.
That's a very unstable economic system right there.
Do you think?
It'd be difficult to regulate if you're constantly giving, like... Imagine every time you went through a weekly shop, you had to be like, oh, you can have this much of my territory. Right?
Well, money, like real money, is technically just a share in gold.
Sure, yeah. True.
Like if you look at any 5, 10, 20 pound note, it always says like, I promise to pay the bearer of this note £20.
Sure.
Or something. Which I'm guessing that back in the day, a pound meant actually a pound in weight of gold. I don't know.
Sure. No, you're right. You make sense. Okay. No, that makes sense. Thank God no one ever calls anyone on that. Okay. Sure.
You seem so accepting of anything that's just slightly beyond your comprehension.
I don't want to get bogged down. I'm trying to like...
Fair enough. Yeah. Let's keep this going. So, well, Ernest is a rich guy. He's got a few hundred kilometres to himself, so he decides, to fix this all, he's going to put an end to all this madness. So he goes to the one place that's still a simple Big Daddy HQ.
Okay.
He demands that they create a cure for the medicine in exchange for all his land.
A cure that would make people then age naturally, and die in the
essentially.
right time.
So Big Daddy, they don't actually need much persuading for this because, well, they need the land for whatever reason. Also, they realise that if they produce a cure, they can market it as a cure to fix planet Earth.
Okay.
Just make loads of money or get loads of land.
But people would be buying this on the understanding that they were ending their own lives.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay. Counting on a lot of altruism there, I don't know.
Well, I guess it works.
Okay.
People see that, it's not that nice when you're having like a square foot to yourself. Yeah.
I suppose if a lot of people had got into Merrill and Goldie's situation when they were just like walking corpses, that's after a certain point that's not so nice.
Yeah.
You probably would be like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So that's exactly what they do. They produce a product which can undo the effects of the potion and revert anybody to the form they held when they originally took the potion.
Oh, okay, interesting.
The product sells massively well, very quickly. Ernest takes it and becomes Bruce Willis.
Okay.
He feeds it to his son, who becomes a dead toddler.
A dead toddler. Wow, this is a brutal film. It's very upsetting.
The whole world buys it in exchange for their land. Most of the population die within weeks, and having sold 100% of the remaining land on Earth to Big Daddy.
Okay. That's a bleak scene.
The population now returns to less than 10 billion, meaning there's over 90 billion corpses in the world.
Yeah.
And the world moves on, under the steady control of Big Daddy. And that is pretty much the film. There's then a post-credit scene.
Okay.
Which picks up in an alleyway full of rubbish and stuff. The camera pans down and we see a severed human head. It's on wheels and it's pottering about the rubbish. It calls out, "Mad, I think I found some." And the other head drives over, and we see them from the front, and obviously it's Meryl and Goldie.
Uh-huh.
Actually back. Meryl laps up this liquid Goldie has found. Obviously they're looking for the cure, looking for just some leftovers or something.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately spits it out. Yuck! That's piss! Not the new potion! Goldie cackles at her, and then they both drive off.
Oh, very good, very good. I like that. That's a good little cameo at the end for them.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. You're painting a very dark and bleak picture. It's kind of bold to end your film with the mass suicide of 90% of the population of the planet, but, you know, following a light comedy with that kind of... But, yeah, it tackles some interesting dark themes, and you really created a world there, so, yeah.
I went dark this week.
You did, you went dark this week, cool. Well, luckily I didn't, so...
oh, good, thank God.
Yes, well...
I really did want to take this in a different direction, and I had a few casting ideas in mind, but it didn't go that way. I'll get to them after yours, just in case.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I've gone in a slightly different direction.
Mm-hmm. Good.
My sequel...
Imagine if you'd done the same.
God damn it, the exact same way. So mine is based on a film we saw recently, and a kind of an ongoing conversation we've been having. So we recently saw the new Mission Impossible film with Tom Cruise, and we just remarked Tom Cruise is in his mid to late 50s now, and he's just, if anything, he's more of an action star than ever. He keeps making these insane action movies and doing all these stunts himself, and it's crazy. It's like, where does this end? What's going to become of him? So I had some thoughts that tied in with this film.
Well, let's hear it.
Okay, so this film, we open on the set of the 2017 movie The Mummy that we saw in the cinema, and Tom Cruise is filming a fight scene with Russell Crowe, because they do fight in that film. It's a very complicated choreographed fight scene. You know, it's very draining. They're having to reshoot it over and over again from different angles, etc. And they're both really, really tired. It's very draining. But they're both refusing to admit it. They're both very, like, ego-driven. Like, even the director is trying to get them to take a break. He's like, come on, you guys aren't as young as you used to be. You know, if you need to take... We can take 20 minutes if you need to chill out. And they're both like, nope, we're fine, we can continue. Russell is particularly having a hard time of it, because, you know, he's not in Tom Cruise shape, you know. But he absolutely will not admit it. He's too proud.
Yeah.
And they're doing retake after retake after retake of this fight scene, and eventually Russell just breaks, and he collapses to the ground, completely winded, and he demands that they take a break. And he probably, like, punches an intern or something, because he's Russell Crowe. That's what he does. And so they call a break. The director says, "Are you okay, Tom?" to Tom Cruise. And Tom's like, "Yeah, I could do this all day. I'm just gonna take a quick bathroom break, you know, while Grandpa recovers over here." The next thing we cut to Tom Cruise in the toilet cubicle, just full on hyperventilating. Like, probably, like, he vomits a little bit. He's so out of breath. He's so tired. He's a wreck. But they get the shot. They finish the scene. He goes back to his hotel room. The next day, he wakes up in his bed and he cannot move. His back is just gone. He's completely paralyzed. So he calls his personal physiotherapist for some emergency treatment.
Like, using just hands-free. Hey, Siri! Siri, help!
Sure, yeah, that's funny, yeah. Voice activated, calling his physio. Yeah, I feel like
maybe it calls a few wrong people first.
Yeah, sure. I feel like his physio's on hand all the time, though. Like, you know.
Quick dial 1.
Yeah. No, don't call Katie Holmes. It's awkward. Anyway, his physiotherapist turns up, and it's going to be similar to the scene in the original film where she's at the plasma treatment beauty place. He's going to be getting, like, a deep tissue massage, but also he's demanding all sorts of crazy drugs to kind of, you know, get himself back into shape and stuff. And his therapist's like, "Tom, you have to face facts. You're 55 years old. There's a time limit on how long you can keep treating your body like this, and you're coming to the end of it. It's just the natural law." And then Tom's going to repeat the Isabella Rosellini line. It's going to be, "Screw the natural law." So they finish shooting, and the movie comes out, and as we know, it bombs. And then we're going to see Tom Cruise, like, in his office reading all the reviews that are going to have headlines like, "Is Tom Cruise officially too old for this shit? Fantasy flop fails to resurrect Tom Cruise's career," etc. It's all very bad. And then the next thing, he takes a call from his agent. He's like, "So, okay, I know things didn't turn out too well with the Mummy movie, but they're looking at the next slate of Marvel movies, and Tom Cruise gets very excited, thinking he's giving the next Iron Man or something, or whatever ones they haven't used yet. And he says,
whatever ones they haven't used.
Well,
What?
I know they've used Iron Man.
Carry on.
I'm just saying, whatever the equivalent, I don't know. Who have they not done yet?
Hawkeye?
Hawkeye, great. He thinks he's going to be Hawkeye. Fine. So they're looking at the next slate of Marvel movies, and how do you feel about playing Captain America's father? And then we just hear click. So a few days later, Tom Cruise goes to some Hollywood party. He's feeling very depressed. And he runs into the actor Paul Rudd, who is just gearing up for the release of the new Ant-Man movie. And he's looking fabulous. As ageless and fabulous as Paul Rudd always looks. And so Tom is a bit...
Paul Rudd's on the cusp, I think, though.
Well, in this film, he's not.
Okay.
I've not seen him in a recent film, but he is notably someone who doesn't seem to age. Maybe it's finally caught up with him. I don't know.
It's not quite, but it's close.
It's getting there.
Very close.
Fine. But in this scenario, it's not. So Tom's a little bit drunk. He's feeling very depressed. He's like, God damn it, Paul, what's your secret? You're only 5 years younger than me, which is true. Paul Rudd is 49. And Paul Rudd says, okay, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but I like you, man, so I'm going to help you out. And Paul Rudd hands Tom Cruise a business card, and then walks away. So Tom Cruise looks at the card, turns it over, and it simply says, J-Lo.
Oh, no. All right, carry on.
Who's going to play an ageless beauty?
Madonna.
No, Madonna's got a part in this later.
Right. Cool.
Not that role. So J-Lo's going to be like Isabella Rosellini. Come on, J-Lo could do that. She, again, it's ridiculous how she doesn't age. It's absurd.
Yeah, whatever.
So anyway, much like Meryl in the original film, Tom dismisses this. He's like, J-Lo? He dismisses it, he rips up the card, puts it in his man bag, walks out. A few days later, he gets a call from his agents again, this time to discuss the upcoming Mission Impossible movie, which he's due to begin filming soon. I'm going to play around with timelines here. I'm sure he's already filmed it. Let's just say, He
filmed it in 2 weeks. It was shot in real time.
Yeah. That, in my world, that's what's happened. So his agent calls to discuss the upcoming Mission Impossible movie. And he's like, Tom, listen, we've got some news. The studio's a little bit nervous about this whole mummy backlash, so they're retooling the new Mission Impossible a little bit. We're dialing down the romantic subplot for this one, and they're bringing in someone a little bit younger to really draw in that millennial crowd. How do you feel about Henry Cavill? And then we just cut to outside the mansion, and we're just going to hear Tom Cruise's voice go, no! So basically the idea is that Henry Cavill's been brought in as a younger co-lead to potentially take over the franchise, or to balance out the fact that Tom Cruise is kind of too old and kids don't really care about him anymore. Next thing we know, he's driving maniacally down the motorway towards Las Vegas, where J-Lo is currently in residency. The rain is pouring, he's speeding, it's just like the scene in the original. He gets to Vegas, and J-Lo's just finishing her latest show. It's all very razzle-dazzle. She looks great. It's a packed house.
Sure.
He goes backstage and meets her, and she's like, Tom.
How much were the audience paid to be there?
They paid everything they had, and it was cheap, as Goldie says.
Oh.
Yes. It's the hottest show in town.
Okay.
So J-Lo's like, Tom, I've been expecting you. And we're just going to recreate the entire Liesl Isabella Rosellini scene here. So she's probably going to be wearing that same kind of macrame bra, walking around. She's going to be like, I know what you're looking for. We would have invited you into our little society before, but Nicole Kidman's been vetoing you for years. But after we all saw The Mummy, even she felt sorry for you. So she takes out the potion, she stabs him in the finger, does the whole crazy hand thing, he watches his hand, rejuvenate, does the whole spiel about how it grants eternal youth and beauty. And Tom Cruise is like, this is insane. Who knows about this? And J-Lo says, well, everybody in Hollywood. George, Kate, Halle, Tilda, Keanu, Cher, Gwen Stefani. Aside from you, the only person in Hollywood we haven't told is Madonna. Also, Johnny Depp was one of our founding members, but we had to kick him out recently, and well, you can see how that's working out for him. So Tom's like, how much? And he takes the potion, instantly feels and looks much younger. Again, we get that repeat of that scene where she goes, now a warning. He's like, now a warning? I feel like Tom Cruise could do that well. So she's like, take care of your body. Go easy on the action movies. And then we're going to get a Tom Cruise recreation of the mirror scene. He's going to look in like a full-length mirror. And his jowls are going to lift up a little bit. His pecs are going to harden and rise. His natural hairline's going to proceed. He's going to look great. He's very happy.
Yeah.
Cut to a few weeks later. He turns up on the set of Mission Impossible, looking and feeling at least 20 years younger. And everyone was like, wow, Tom, you look fantastic. And he does. He looks great. He feels great. His energy levels are higher than they've been in years. His stamina is just through the roof. And he's doing all his own stunts again, despite J-Lo's warnings. And he's doing so well that he convinces the movie producers to retool the movie once again and make Henry Cavill a villain. So he's back to being the lead again.
Yeah.
So obviously, with all this happening, it's kind of going to his head a little bit. And he totally forgets J-Lo's warning, and he insists on more and more elaborate stunt work. And it gets to one scene where he's running through London. and there's a huge jump he has to do from one skyscraper to another, or one tower to another. And the director kind of says, now Tom, this is a very dangerous shot, so we've got a specialist in, he's going to be your body double. Tom's like, no, I can handle it, I'm invincible. So eventually, because he's so insistent, he's such a prima donna, that the crew are just kind of forced to back down and let him do the shot. So he's running, he takes the shot, he does the jump into the air, and then he falls 50 stories down and lands with a sickening crash in the floor.
Oh, okay.
And then we cut to the director, he's like, holy fuck, we just killed Tom Cruise. And then we cut to the bottom of the building, and Tom Cruise is lying face down in concrete. His leg is twisted at a hideous angle behind him. Slowly, painfully, he lifts himself back up, but his face is still in the concrete beneath him. So the crew rushes down to check on him.
Wait, sorry, is this like wet concrete or?
No, it's dry concrete, but he's landed like face first.
Okay,
like,
cool.
after, he's fallen hard.
Oh, yeah, just checking.
He's slacked himself hard. So the crew runs down to find Tom Cruise standing up, literally with just an exposed skull. Like his entire face has just been ripped off by the force of the impact. And he's like, all right, I think we might need to do another take then. Everybody ready? And someone's like, Mr. Cruise, I think you might need to see a doctor first. And then he looks down, he sees his own face back in the concrete. He's like, oh, damn.
Oh, so has he just got eyes?
His eyes have stayed in, but just all the skin on his face has just peeled off. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Eyes inside a skull looks so
yeah,
hilarious.
always good. Yeah, always good. So they scrape his face out of the concrete, and a very traumatized makeup artist is brought in to basically stitch his face back on.
All right, great.
Yeah. His physiotherapist attempts to put his leg back together.
Yeah.
And he's mostly kind of ready to go again.
Cool.
Yeah. So then we're going to have a montage of Tom Cruise doing all of the rest of the stunts in the Mission Impossible movie, all the ones that we saw, while sustaining increasingly hideous injuries each time. So there's going to be the helicopter climbing scene. He's going to fall off that, obviously. There's the big, long punch-up with Henry Cavill, Why Won't You Die? All the scenes from the latest Mission Impossible. Parachuting into Paris,
Yeah.
All of them. They're all there. Meanwhile, the rest of the cast and crew are absolutely horrified. They have no idea what's going on. But they're just kind of going along with it. I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of Simon Pegg at this point. A lot of him reacting to this like, what the fuck? Because clearly he's not taking any potions of magical youth. Look at him. He looks terrible these days. So he's just like, what the fuck? I think he could do good reactions to this mayhem that's happening. So then we're going to cut to 6 months later, and Mission Impossible Fallout comes out to rave reviews. And Tom Cruise is back on top. It's a huge moneymaker. All the reviews are good. And then we're going to have end credits with Tom Cruise kind of very stiffly walking down the red carpet. Just, much like Marilyn Gold at the end of the film. Like, obviously, it's just like every limb has obviously just been like stitched back on.
Yeah.
And there's clearly going to be stitch marks holding his broken and shattered body and his face all together. He's going to be like waving very stiffly to the audience, and you hear the creaking and little bits of blood pouring out. And that's going to be the end of the film.
Okay, great.
So, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, has it got a title?
I couldn't think of it. I just put...
Death Becomes Tom Cruise.
It's a bit lazy. And I put Death Becomes Their 2 Ghost Protocol. It's not the best. But
okay.
I know it's not even the most recent Mission Impossible, but it made more sense for Ghost Zombie. It's the best I could come up with.
Okay, yeah, sure. No, good. I enjoyed that.
I'm glad you liked it. Listener submissions?
Sure.
So what's your drinking game this week? Could just do puns again. It's always puns.
Sure. Puns or Death Becomes something?
Yeah, Death Becomes something, or recasting choices maybe. Hilling Isaac said Death Recomes Her.
It's a pun, it's a play on words, I'll take that.
Yeah. James Mason, our friend James Mason, Dr. James Mason, from Treasure Planet episode.
I'm aware.
Yeah. Well, our listeners might not know. Here's an original idea that Hollywood hasn't done enough of.
Sensing sarcasm.
Sarcasm, yeah. A gender-flipped version, Death Becomes Him, because there aren't enough men in leading roles these days. So,
yeah.
Which has kind of been, a few people have said that. Laura Oliver Aitchison also had a gender-flipped idea. Death Becomes Him again. Starring Channing Tatum. Hey! And Michael B. Jordan.
Okay.
From Black Panther.
Yeah.
As Marilyn Goldie's characters. She couldn't think of anyone to play Bruce, though.
A woman.
A woman, yeah. So Channing Tatum and Michael B. Jordan are Goldie.
Winona Ryder.
Sure.
Oh, the age isn't quite right there.
No, she's a bit older.
Anna
Faris? She's silly. I know you've gone off her after May, but...
Yeah, she is silly. She'd be good.
Yeah. You need someone who can really chew the scenery.
Yeah.
Mike Carey said Death Becomes Her. A bisexual twist.
Ah, okay.
So maybe, because they're so lonely and they can only hang out with each other and both being zombies, maybe Meryl and Goldie, strike up a lesbian relationship. They've got to do something to pass the hours.
So they both still got working vaginas then, or?
That's a good point, I don't know. They're probably quite dry, I'd imagine. Don't know. Questions this film didn't answer.
Yeah.
Scott Hillman says, so it's after the apocalypse, hundreds of years in the future. A couple of young scroungers, survivors, find a strange compound in the forested foothills of what was once Beverly Hills, full of undead beauty queens, and they find a strange head belonging to either Meryl or Goldie. Because I guess they just stayed as heads forever, just like so they just found this strange head in the forest.
Yeah.
So yeah. Walt Williams, Life Becomes Him.
Okay, yes.
A gender flip and a title flip.
Wow.
2 for the price of 1.
Double. I'll drink the ones for that.
All right, fine, yeah. But then Walt does say, okay, it sounds like I just came up with the title of the next low-budget Christian movie. So it does sound quite Christian. That
Yeah.
Stephen Jones says, when they find out what the main ingredient in the immortality really is, they decide to break bad and sell it. Meth becomes her. Very good. Rochelle Williams said, Death Becomes Her 2, still rotten.
Yep, solid.
David Jackson Perkins said, too deaf to her. Tom Brennan said, Death Becomes Her, but the S is a 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Classic. Spencer Kopp said, Death Becomes Her, 2, T-O-O. Sam Reeder says, Death Becomes Herp, where the 2 severed heads from the end of the movie are dropped into the jungle for some reason and must become lizard experts in order to survive.
Okay, yeah.
Great. Over to Twitter, False Starts Podcast, at False Starts Pod, another variation of Death Becomes Him. But they've suggested a reboot, not a sequel, that's gender swapped, because that's very in vogue right now, starring Amy Schumer and a bargain bin version of Chris Pratt. Blokebusters, at Blokebusters, who also covered this movie on their own podcast, actually. I listened to their episode, it was good. Very funny. Death Became Her. A prequel in which we meet Liesel, the Isabella Rosellini character, as a young socialite being approached by a mysterious man who promises her eternal youth. She declines, citing how it's against nature. But as we see her grow older, more jaded and in a loveless marriage, she realises that she's made a mistake and finds the man and begs for the potion. He initially refuses, but when she describes how her life has been and how she wishes she could have had fun again, he smiles. He decides to give her the potion on the condition that she takes over as the key distributor. She gleefully accepts and prepares to leave. We see her walk past a series of paintings of the man's family, with one painting turned around. The man walks up, reaches to turn it, but stops, smirks again, and follows her outside. We finally see that this whole story has taken place in pre-1900 America, and Lord Henry is announcing he's moving to England because he's heard about a gentleman there who he's dying to meet, and he leaves Liesel in his house, and she finally smiles. So I guess the idea is it's all set in like 300, 200 years ago. So it's like, yeah, it's just showing how old Liesel is, I guess. From the plantation era. Interesting.
I like it.
Admit One Movies, at Admit One Movies 2. Death Becomes 3 Men. Mary, the baby from the film 3 Men and a Baby, is all grown up. Have you ever seen 3 Men and a Baby? No. She's all grown up and she's a screw-up. Her mum Sylvia despairs and decides to resurrect Peter, Michael and Jack, who were the characters from that film, after they perished in an unfortunate dragon boat accident. Cue much supernatural hijinks as the squabbling dads come to terms with their deaths, Mary's life and dealing with her overly protective mum. Cue arguments about how they came to die and still age, the best way to help their daughter, and how dads too eventually let their little girls grow up. Okay, yeah. Films Remembered Badly, at Badly Remembered, said, Life Becomes Her, again. It's a road trip movie where the original cast return, trying to find a multitude of different ways to adapt to eternal life. Kind of like Little Miss Sunshine, but with more broken bones.
Ooh.
So yeah, I guess the Goldie and Meryl on a road trip, but dead. Could work. And finally, Sabrina the Teenage Watch, at Sabrina Watch, which is a Sabrina the Teenage Witch retrospective podcast. Great fun, recommended. This is called Death Becomes Her, Mummy Dearest.
Sure.
So Bruce Willis, it turns out, froze his sperm, and a young boy was born from it. The ladies get wind of this and want to kidnap him. So this is Meryl and Goldie, I guess. But with their skin falling off and it nearing Halloween, the only way they can get close is if they dress up as mummies.
Okay.
So yeah, interesting. Could be like Death Becomes Her meets Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Kind of. Like it.
Yeah.
And those were our listener submissions for this week. So thank you very much, guys. If you have any sequel ideas for Death Becomes Her or any films we've done in the past, please let us know. We are Beyond the Box Set. You can find us at beyondtheboxset.com. Our podcast is available on all good podcasting platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Acast, Stitcher, Google Play. You name it, we're on it. If we're not on it, let us know and we'll try to get on it. You can also reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at Beyond the Box Set, or just search Beyond the Box Set. And you can also become a VIP listener on Patreon at patreon.com/Beyond the Box Set. And we have merchandise at tpublic.com. Harry, next week, what's happening?
So next week, we have a special episode next week.
Oh, goody.
We have organised 2 guests.
That's
guests right,
for the price
2
of one.
guests. So if any of you listeners have listened to our episodes Black Swan and Garden State, you'll know we had 2 guests called Ollie and Louise, respectively. And they are both coming on to join us.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing a very, very special film.
Have you watched it yet?
I have.
Oh, great.
Which is called Burlesque.
I've been waiting a long time. Since our very first episode, I've been waiting for the opportunity to do this.
Really,
film.
but not this? Not Death Becomes Her?
Well, this came first, obviously. It's timing.
So, Burlesque, the 90s...
It's not from the 90s. It's from like 2010.
That's just something. Yes, so the film starring Cher and Christina Aguilera. It's going to be a good one,
yes.
I imagine. So what we're going to do is I'm going to team up with Ollie and John's going to team up with Louise, and we're just going to come up with 2 ideas between the 4 of us.
Yeah.
Kind of what we do when we cross over with a podcast, but this time we're just crossing over with some friends.
Yeah, basically. Friends and fans of the show.
Yes. The people I would describe as the 2 noisiest people I know.
Yeah. Yes, I would agree.
Enjoy editing that, John.
Yes, that's going to be fun for me.
So please do tune in next week for Burlesque.
Yes.
Should be a good one.
Wagon wheel, what to see.
Anyway. See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Do you remember where you parked the car?